They make a serious racket. Luckily there's not too many here. I don't think there's a couple more coming back. I think a few of them could still be out foraging and haven't quite made their way back home to roost. We're waiting for the guinea fowl to come too, because they love to sit up in these trees. They love it. But I haven't actually even heard the guinea fowl today, which is unusual. Oh, there's a go-away bird. Nicely spotted. What's you shouting at? Also making a bit of a noise now. Coming down for a drink. No, don't go too far away. Good birdie. I think it's just being cautious. Just sort of going, maybe if I do that, no one will try and get me. Come on, have a quick drink. You're taking your time. No, not taking a chance. Heading for cover. You feel safe up there, don't you? Funny, maybe it'll come down again. Hello, hippos. Oh, there's so many of them. Who's laughing at who, VM? What is that? Kingfisher. Did it catch something? It did dive down into the water. Beautiful pied kingfisher. Oh, that's stunning. It turned its head and looking back where it's just come from. Perhaps there are a small gathering of fish. Maybe some tadpoles. Who else knows what it could be going after? There's so many different things that lurk in this murky water that this kingfisher would absolutely love to munch on. Come on, hippos, come out the water now, please. I've been begging them. It'd be nice if that kingfisher now then dove down. Hey, VM. It would be perfect. But I don't think it's going to. Right, well, isn't this lovely, sitting down at the beach of Chitwa. Right, we're going to hang around here for a little bit longer before we head on off to try and find some leopards. So while we hang about and hope the hippos come out onto the islands, off you go to Steve, who seems to be picking flowers.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have got ourselves a beautiful little bush pea. How gorgeous is that? We have seen them before, and they would have flowered, produced their beans, and then kind of withered away, and now they have flowering again, and once again producing some more peas. We've spoken about these before, and all of those of you out there will know that any bean or pea is part of the legume family, and the legumes have got that a marvelous symbiotic relationship with a mycorrhizal bacteria, which is a nitrogen fixer within the soil. It obviously benefits the plant itself and anything else that is living around it. And then we've got another grass that's right next to it. We've actually got a plethora of them around. You can see this beautiful grass here. You see the inflorescence is a very characteristic inflorescence. And if I grab just another one, that's not the right one. I grab another one, and you can see on the little nodes, there's that stickiness. This is the gummy grass, and it is a favorite growing in sort of what we call seep lines. And if Ferg just pans a little bit sort of that way, you'll see that there's a huge abundance of them. And then what do we have just over here but the famous silver cluster leaf, which is a good indicator of a steep line. So everything this side is where the water coming down the slope from that side comes down, and the water goes up on the surface. It's a reason why you don't get too many trees in this band, and with plants like this, I mean, there's no soil water at all. You can't see any, but with these type of plants, they're very good indicators of what's going on underneath the ground. So important to understand that, and to understand your grasses and your trees, so you can understand the habitat management consequences that go out here. So on that, let's go back down to where there is water and Taylor McCurdy.
Plenty of water, and our friend the kingfisher actually caught a fish. Can you believe it? And then gobbled it up quite quickly. But it's gone fishing again, so maybe it will return. And still waiting for our hippos to come out of the water. Oh, that's quite nice. Hello. So I was just thinking, little one's trying to copy Mum, about that tooth question. I reckon that I'll tell you now. Rebecca, I'm going to ask you for that question in like 2 seconds, but before I forget my train of thought, because I was thinking about the hippo teeth, and I would imagine that those canines wouldn't stop growing. I don't think they would, because it is a source of ivory. So I think that will carry on for the entire life, because sometimes you see big bulls with massive sets of canines. It's pretty impressive. And I mean, I don't think that would grow in such a short period of time. And they're constantly being sharpened too. Okay, Rebecca, I'm ready now. I'm listening. I have to listen with both ears. Otherwise, I don't hear properly. Now, Indigo Girl, an interesting one from you about whether hippos will give birth on land so that they can run back into the water. Hippos typically give birth in sort of shallow water, quite close to the water's edge, because they're really vulnerable. Of course, they can give birth out on land too. The problem is when they do something like that, they look how excited. There's a little hippo racing over to this one. That's what it's looking at now. Hyenas often hassle hippo cows and their little ones. Rebecca. Oh, look at this. This is so cool. So I think that is Mom. You can see she's got mammary glands are swollen. This will be quite interesting. I've never seen a hippo calf suckling before. That's not where you're going to get milk. But they normally will suckle underwater. I suppose when they are out on land and Mom's been grazing for a few hours, maybe they suckle on land too. But I've never seen this before. Come on, show us how you drink. Careful. Oh, that's so sweet. Noriko, yes, typically hippo calves do suckle underwater. That's why you often see them going up and down that, and because they can't stand. Look how shallow it is there. So that's where the fallen tree is. Oh, someone's been chased up there. There's the greenbacked heron desperately trying to run away from the hippos. Oh, it's all happening here. Oh, plop down. See how cautious they are being around that cow. Because if they get a bit too boisterous, she's just going to open her mouth and chase them away. You see, it's like they've been told off now. Shame. It looks so sad. Like, it's okay, fine, don't play with me then. Might not even be its mom. Hippos are fairly social as well, living in family groups together. The other cows will be, to a point, tolerant of the youngsters coming up. I don't know if hippo allos suckle. I've never seen hippos suckling before, because it typically happens underwater. So it would be interesting. I wonder if they're that social that a cow would let another calf come and suckle from it. I doubt it, though. I don't think so. But maybe there's been some studies done in the zoos where they have an aquarium style and they can actually, observe these behaviors. No, Dale, it depends on the sex whether a hippo calf will stay with its mother or not. Normally, if it's a female, she'll just sort of join the pod. Yeah, she may also move off if there's lack of food, or if there's been sort of disputes. Maybe she's been chased around by a bull and doesn't quite like it and wants to, sort of move off. There's lots of different variations to why a hippo could leave a pod. But the bulls typically move off, and very, very similar to like what happens with elephants, except that elephant bulls carry on going. There will be a male that will stay with the pod. There'll be one territorial bull. So he'll probably be sent on his way, or he'll just have to start hanging around on the outskirts, who won't be paid too much attention at all. And as long as he doesn't show that he's interested in the females within that pod, he'll probably be tolerated by the big bull. Now, it seems as though Thandi has made her way up another tree. I wonder what she's looking for.
She has indeed. She's found an epic branch that just kind of reaches out into the sky, and it almost seems as though she's just kind of suspended in the air at the moment. And just now there was the most amazing light that was out for about 2 seconds that highlighted her, and so I'm hoping there's one more little crack in the clouds that the sun might follow, that we get one more kind of burst of that golden light because it is really very pretty. But you can see she's made herself very comfortable. In fact, just now, before I started talking, she was actually sleeping, so she was having a bit of a nap. So I don't think she's planning on moving anytime soon. But I'm surprised at her behavior. Thandi is not a cat that we see in trees regularly. She is in trees when she's got carcasses, but outside of that, I can count maybe on one hand the amount of times I've seen her in a tree without a carcass. And today we've seen her go up 2 different trees after scent marking at both of them and phlegm and grimacing at both of them. So I'm not sure what she's up to and why she's going up into these trees, but interesting anyway. And the way that she's kind of scanning about, it almost seems as though she's using these as big vantage points to check around her area and survey her kingdom, or queendom, should we say. And it really is spoiling us with the most epic of views. Having a leopard up in a tree like that is a very, very special thing, and it's what many people who come to Africa hope to see. And so we're being super fortunate to have her sitting the way that she is at the moment. Like I said, I just like this particular angle because it kind of just seems as though she's just floating in the sky, and you know, it's very seldom you get a background where it's just this kind of blue sky like we've got this evening. And so it will be very, very pretty, especially if she stays up there towards dusk, because we should get a nice bit of color coming out of the sky, and then it should be absolutely beautiful. In fact, actually, it might be quite nice to go around and get some backlighting of her. It might be a bit bright still, but just now it should be very pretty. You can see a few purples and things that are starting to come out, and she's just placed waiting and watching and seeing what's going on. Maybe let's try, Craig. Let's see what it's like with the backlight, because we're not going to get any more sunlight. I'm just looking over to the clouds and see and what's going on, because the sun at the moment, well, we'll show you now when I get around her and show you what it looks like from the other side, is really not going to be a chance for us to get any more sort of light on her. So it might be nice just to try a bit of a backlighting situation with that sunset in the background, particularly if we put a bit of light on it somewhere along the car, one of our little sort of floods, not the spotlights, because the floodlights will give us a much better kind of view of what's going on. But we're almost round. Now, I want to know from all of you what you think. So hashtag Safari Live, what do you think Thandi's up to? Do you think that she's marking territory because she's sensed another leopard, or do you think it's because she might have potentially lost her little one? That's what I want to know. Do you think the cub is alive or not? You can just... these trees are not working for me, Craig. This is not going as well as I wanted it to go. But we'll try go a little bit further forward. How's that, Craig? Let's try there for a little bit and just see what we get. It's not ideal, actually, what we've got at the moment, but we'll try and kind of use it. But there's the sun in the background. I'll try and just use a little bit of light just to give it a little bit of kind of color on her. But difficult. She's not quite behind the sunset, so we can't quite get a silhouette, and there's so many branches and trees in the way. I'm not sure we will get it, but we'll try and kind of figure it out. Either way, still an epic view of a leopard with a sunset in the background, and like I say, it doesn't get much better than that at all. Good, well, we'll try and fiddle about just see what we can get, see if we can get a better sort of view of what's going on, and while we do that, let's send you back across to Taylor, who I believe is messing around with some hornbills.
Well, they want to mess around with me. Actually, we're not messing around with one another at all. No! Me throwing a tantrum. Why? Hornbill, why? Because eating the termites, let's go see how the termites feel about the fact that they were being eaten. Shall we see? It's pecked away quite a bit of the soil. We might be able to see in it. These mounds have got big too. Oh yeah, there they are. That's too close, hey, Liam? Oh, actually, no, that's perfect. Look at them! Going, help! Help! Some fat termites there. Where are the soldiers? There's a big soldier on the left. Moving around, helping the workers, telling everybody to get away, get away. Now the reinforcements are coming in to repair it before that hornbill can come back and eat them again. I'm very busy. Look at them already. They've already got soil, repositioning, building. Perhaps they're taking some of the old material that could cause an avalanche away. I don't think that would cause an avalanche. It would just collapse. But they are very busy and so delicious too. I mean, I don't blame the hornbill for sitting here and specifically searching for termites. They are a good source of protein and a bit of other things, and lots of different animal species out here will actually feed on them. They're lovely. Those ones look like they've got too much soil to eat, though, so we'll give it a skip. Oh, shame, VM, look at those ones. I'm surprised that there's another mount, so this is a whole network here. Those ones are working even harder, but they weren't being attacked. You can see they're not as stirred up as the others. And now how they get that to stick is that they mix the soil with their saliva. And then they place it in strategic spots. They're so pretty. It's quite cool, right? Well, it seems as though Steve must have termites in his pants because he's now climbed to the top of one. I wonder what he's doing up there.
Not quite in our pants, but I am indeed joined by Herbie, my main man, on top of a marvelous termite mound. We moved into the area as we heard impala alarm calling, and as we came closer we realized the impala alarm calling because of us. Both Herbie and Ferg eat meat, so they saw the meat eaters, they smelt them, and they alarm called. They're still shouting at us. It's quite hard for you to pick up the sound from my mic here, but they're still looking at us and shouting from a distance. But isn't this just, this is the reason we do this. Look at that sky. It is just absolutely remarkable being out here. Nice vantage point. It's pretty clear, pretty open. Thought I'd enjoy a little bit of a moment top of a termite mound with Herbie, who's also just back from leave this morning, so he's feeling fresh, he's feeling strong, up for the bushwalks. Bushwalk team number 1. Fantastic, hey Herbs? How was your leave?
That's good.
It's good. What did you do?
Resting.
You're resting, eh? He works hard, so you rested. Some of us go on leave to rest, but we don't really rest. We party a little bit too much and then we come back just as tired as we did before. Okay, so while on top of this termite mound, what I find marvelous and interesting, if Ferg comes a little bit closer, is you can actually see the grazing line of the termite mound because of the grazing animals all the way around. You can see to this to this point here how it's being grazed completely there, and past this line how the grass is not grazed. And I can go in a full circle and you'll see how the animals are preferring to eat the grass growing off the termite mound than the grass growing on the left, purely because the nutrients in the soil here are far greater than the nutrients on the left, and that's because of the recycling properties that the termites go through, the nutrients going back into the soil, so the grasses are much sweeter, even if it is the same species as over here, the sweetness in the grass. I'm sure you've had a tomato in your life, or an apricot, or some form of fruit that just tastes far better than another. That's exactly what is going on. So that is the browsing line, or the grazing line, and amazing the ecology of this area. So it looks like Tristan has managed to get in a better position to have a look at Thandi. Let's go to him.
Well, it's not great in terms of the sunsets. Unfortunately, that was just not going to work. We just couldn't get into the right place for that. But we've got a great view of Thandi just kind of staring out over the savannah with her paws placed on the sort of view of the tree and her just staring off into the distance. So it's an absolutely beautiful kind of spot that she's found herself in, and a wonderful marula to sit in. It's a nice branch, that's for sure. Only thing I would say is probably that branch that goes off to the left is blocking things a little bit, but otherwise it's perfect. And where we're sitting here, we've got this magnificent view of her, and she's locked onto something because she hasn't taken her gaze off that direction at all. She just keeps staring in that sort of area the whole time. So I don't know what it is that's there that's appealing to her, but there's definitely something that's interesting her, and she's kind of watching and trying to see exactly what's going on there. But look at that. Isn't that wonderful? I think so. She's very kind of perky as all to what's going on. It's that time of the day now where there should be other creatures starting to move around. I'm pretty sure she's going to be in hunting mode tonight, given that her sort of belly is rather thin. There we go, she's going to come down now. Unfortunately, we're not in a great spot to watch her come down, but it's okay. Can't always win them all. But there she goes. You see her just kind of coming, and down she goes, ever so graceful, as only leopards can. Now you can see there's a big branch in our way, which she's going to walk towards our direction. She's heading straight to where she was staring. So I wonder if maybe she spotted a prey animal that she wants to now go and hunt. She's going to cross behind us. I do apologize about any wires or the back of the car. Unfortunately, she's gone in that direction, and so we're not going to see sort of too much of her as she crosses behind us. But let's try and kind of... So Francis, you say you hope that she's just protecting a cub that she's scent marking, and Ed, you reckon that the cub is probably gone. So it's a bit of a difficult one at the moment. I think we're all in the same boat, is that we don't really know for sure. But like I say, from the experience that most of us have had with leopards, and particularly females with cubs, is that, you know, when they start displaying signs like this and start doing these kind of things, it's very seldom a good outcome. But I'm hoping. I mean, Taylor had tracks, and you know, seemed like they were fairly good tracks. And then there was also a situation where, you know, we had Thandi going back to that area this morning, and we'll just see. I mean, tomorrow morning will give a good indication. If we have tracks going back into that same block, then it's pretty good indication that probably that little one is still with us and still around, which will be quite nice. So let's hope, live in hope, because we don't want our little one gone. But even if it is alive, the chances for it to stay alive is going to be so difficult. I mean, it's a situation where she's fighting against all the odds in order to try and keep... Look, she's chuffing. Why are you chuffing? Her behavior is very strange. An impala's alarm called. I don't know if it's seen her. Look, she's now coming back this way. Why was she chuffing, though? Can you hear the impala snorting in the background? Unless she was just getting upset with the impala, and that's maybe why she was just sort of growling at the impala. Maybe sure he is, and why this impala is shouting. Is there another leopard here? Is there a situation where she's just been spotted by being overzealous? I don't see this impala, but it's kind of snorting right here. Yeah, there it is right there. So it is facing in this direction, so it must have just seen her. It's just that she's obviously got herself too out in the open too quickly. Just careful, Craig. Let's try and lift that over the camera so we don't get ourselves into trouble as we try and do a big turn to go back to where Thandi went. For a second there, I thought maybe she had seen another leopard, that she was making that sort of face, but it's more the impala. Now, sorry, Rebecca, if you can just repeat that. The guys are shouting on the radio today, and it's very difficult to hear what's going on. So, Matt, a chuff is a contact call for a leopard, a low, very sort of small contact call, and it's basically a little... That's the kind of sound that they make, and they use it if they come into contact with other leopards, or if they have a situation where they are calling their cubs, they use it. So that's why I thought maybe, just maybe, she had seen something, but alas, it doesn't seem that way. Craig, did you see where she went? Problem is she's sneaking about now. She's trying to keep a low profile, so spotting her is going to be a little on the tough side. I think we might have lost her, to be honest, for now. The impala is still shouting at ghosts because Thandi's long gone since that impala started shouting. So while I try and see if I can find where she went in this thicket, let's send you back across to Taylor, who I think has left Chitwa Dam.
We did leave the dam before we got eaten alive by mosquitoes, because that happens every night at that dam. It's terrible. And VM and I are taking a very slow to cut line because we have a feeling that we're going to find Hosanna. Have you found him yet, VM? Me neither. But we're looking, though. That's what counts, is that we are looking for Hosanna. So we're just going to check, because he was last seen, I think, in Torchwood, moving around. He likes this sort of corner. I have yet to see any tracks crossing in, but that's why we are going quite slowly, that the engine isn't rumbling too much, and that if there are any birds, which will be fairly active now, they're normally quite active in this last 10-15 minutes, that there's light before they go quiet and start chirping only tomorrow morning, or unless it's full moon and they chirp then too. So they could be out on their perches with a good view of what's around them, and if they see that leopard, they're going to tell us. They will tell us. So let's hope that that's the case. He's, yeah, sort of, I think if we just keep checking between Central and back down towards Gowrie Main, where Cheetah Cut line intersects them, I think we should have a good chance. Otherwise, we'll mosey on back in and go and check around Treehouse Dam again, maybe go a little bit further west to see if we can, of course, maybe see Hukumuri. I don't know where he went this morning. I was terrible. I've got to get an update as to where they had his tracks. I know they didn't find him. I'm just having a scratch. And maybe Tingana will be out tomorrow morning. I also have a feeling about that. Okay. No one here. Let's just go up a little bit further. That's Mamba anyway. Not the road that I wanted to be at. It's getting dark now. So quickly. I have to pull my spotlight up. Ooh, here's my favorite thing to talk about in the whole world. Russin elephant dung. It's great stuff, that. Especially the dried version. So there we go. That's a natural mosquito repellent. You just have to burn it. And it's quite amazing. It smells quite nice too. It smells like you've put different flavors, teas together. And some leaves, and you've burnt them, and depending on what the elephant has eaten, it will all smell different. So it's quite cool, you can use. And then I've heard if you take wild basil as well and rub it on yourself, that's supposed to help keep the mosquitoes away. I haven't tried that though. I normally just burn the elephant dung. Those are some very upset birds. Bex, where's Tristan? You know. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. If he's there, something upset those birds. I think there's a road coming up. Ferrari Safari. I think we might have to get onto Drakensberg Road to have a quick look around there. Now, there was some serious chirping and some very unhappy birds. We never make it through there. That block is so thick. Okay, here's the road. Meow. Oh, okay. That's okay. So Tristan's not here. This is also not a road. That's a minor drain that I was seeing. I think if it'll be a bit of a detour, but I'm pretty sure if we get onto Drakensberg South, or north, maybe the north here. Meow. Whee! My favorite part, Ferrari sparring. It's so much fun. Okay, this is actually a road. Just want to go and have a look and see what's causing those things, making those birds fly. We're just trying to get there fairly quickly. Again, I don't know if it was between two roads. If it's in that block, it's going to be a nightmare. And I can't get out my car and go walking now. It's a bit too dangerous. You can see how the light is fading fairly quickly. You don't want to be walking around at night. That's a very silly thing to do. Predators start to look at you a little bit different. And, just don't do it. Not allowed to. I'm telling you, you are not allowed to walk around at night in the bush. Ever. You can go from your room to the lodge, but if it's in a big 5 area, then maybe ask your guide, your trained guide, to assist you. Don't be a hero, because I promise you right now, your legs will not be trained to stand still. You'd want to run. Now, somebody that is not going to be walking in the dark tonight is Steve, and I have no doubt he'll be almost close to home. So let's go and figure out what's ruffled these birds' feathers. And, well, I'm going to send you to Steve, which I'm sure will be his last time to chat with you until tomorrow.
Yes, thanks, Taylor. We are on our way back. And as we came through the quarantine section, which is just north of our camp or south of our camp, nice big herd of impala there. and they've been running away doing that typical rocking horse gait, which is indicating how fit and how strong they are. They're running, and they'll be going up and down, up and down. Again, they've seen the meat eaters in the group, and they are trying to show us which one is strong enough not to catch. So we won't be catching any impala tonight, but as I said, we are slowly on our way back. So from myself and Fergus and Herbie on the Bushwalk team, we are going to be saying goodnight on our way back before it gets too dark in the African wilderness, as we listen to the birds quietly call out their chorus, the last rays of the sun's setting. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning, and let's go back over to Taylor and see if she's found out what's flushed her birds.
Everybody wave bye-bye to Steve. Bye-bye, Steve. It's like the Teletubbies. So we're down on Drakensberg now, having a scratch around, and I even have my trusty spotlight, which I like to use as a lightsaber. BM, you should also get one, and then we can have fights. Or should we just get sticks? We could just use sticks. Fire sticks. We'll use fire sticks. We can do that. Okay, this is kind of the area. Oh. It seems as though Tristan is now having mechanical difficulties. That's so funny. I don't know what's happened. Oh no, I hope he manages to stick with Thandi to see where she goes. Now he's just stuck in the bush. Should we go rescue him? I'm trying to think, Rebecca. I've got jumper cables in my car. If you need. If it's... No, my physical car. My car keys are in my room. Tristan's battery has died in his car, and I don't think. So I'm just talking to Rebecca now. I don't think the workshop is going to be open. I don't know if Opar is going to be around. So if you want, I don't know where they are in my car. Either in the back seat or in the boot, the trunk of the car. I don't know, but you're welcome to use them. Oh my gosh, I know what that means. So if Tristan's got no battery, he's got no power. Which means, you guessed it, you're stuck with me. How much fun. Let's find something then. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I would like to go and watch Tristan though, and just point and laugh at him for a little bit, because it's always funny when we get stuck. And not that he got stuck on purpose. He's not the Marshmallow Queen, because there's no such thing as a Marshmallow King. There's only a Marshmallow Queen title that gets given out. Who's walking here? And there are also some tracks over my vehicle tracks. Hyena. Hyenas have been walking here. And you know what? Let's go this way. Let's go down Mamba. Go and look through here. Maybe we'll try and find a chameleon. It's a beautiful evening. Oh my goodness. Okay, here comes a challenge, everybody. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? We are going to do some sort of a burst round of questions. So send through any random question, doesn't matter what it's about, and we're going to do them in sets of 5. So it's going to be like rapid fire. And go! Send them in, and then Rebecca's going to choose 5 very quickly, and then I'm going to answer them as quick as possible. We will try my best to answer them as quick as possible. I'm going to search for chameleons in the meantime. Oh, you get 60 seconds and counting to send your questions through. Get them all in. Let's get this game going. Are you ready, VM? Are you ready? Stretching? You are not stretching though. VM's getting the infrared ready. I'm going to loosen up a bit. Don't want to be unprepared. Want to pull a muscle answering questions quickly. Okay, no comedians. Also, I do apologize if there are any little gremlins. I promise you they won't last for long as I go through here. It's just not the greatest of roads, but I will try and move away from here. We'll quickly shoot through the Mulati eventually and then go up towards Treehouse Dam, because that's always quite nice. And the leopards seem to... Oh, here we go. Nicholas, you're wondering if this is live. This is live. This is happening right now. What is the time, Nicholas? Well done on rapid fire. It is 5 minutes past 6 Central African time. The date is the 5th of April, 2018. I was hoping that I was going to get the date right because I didn't actually know. Oh, next question. Ooh. An animal that we could definitely see tonight, equalizer, is a black-backed jackal. Yes, they are found in the Sabi sand. We just don't see them too often because the vegetation is quite thick. We did see a couple hanging around the elephant carcass, which were the bones that we were looking at earlier on the sunset safari. And next one, Rebecca, go, go, go. Keep them coming. Ooh. Lozzie, I like to think that animals have best friends. Whether they do or not, I'm not so sure. So I like to think of Gregory as my best friend in camp because she gets very excited when she sees me. Gregory is a tortoise. I've never seen a tortoise get excited when it sees a person, but as she does. She definitely does. She knows she'll get a little snack though. She's cheeky. Oh, right, back onto the tortoise topic, Alan girl. The differences between the terrapin and the tortoises are the following. Well, a tortoise can retract its neck all the way in, and it brings its legs around to protect it. Its legs are actually quite tough with little humps and bumps on them, and are typically on land, except the leopard tortoise. Sometimes you think that they're drowning, but they're not. They can swim. And then tortoises just have claws. Terrapins have got sort of webbing between their claws. They also are, well, so spend most of their time in water. They do come out and bask in the sun on the sides of the bank. Basking is when you tell stories when they're not truthful stories. So yes, there we go. Those are the typical differences. And a terrapin cannot pull its head all the way back. Ooh, Rihanna, now I'm hungry. What's my favorite meal? Ooh, prawns. Anything with prawns. I think that's my favorite meal. Is it? I like a salad with prawns and rocket leaves and cherry tomatoes and maybe some shavings of parmesan with a Thousand Island style sauce, something along those lines, or a paprika aioli maybe also. So something along those lines was my favorite. I also may be addicted to sushi. I'm being told off now on FC that I'm being fancy. I'm not being fancy. I was asked what my favorite meal is. It is. I love anything with prawns. Thank you, Rihanna. Right. What are we going to find now? Thank you for those fast 5 questions. That was lots of fun. I hope you enjoyed playing the game. Come on, comedian. Let's find one. Hey, Debbie. Well, this is quite an interesting one because it's about where are the bats and where are they roosting on Djuma. So if you ask Ali, you all know Ali, Tristan's girlfriend, she helps out every now and then on the live drives. If you ask her, on her toothbrush will be her response, and it'll be at Chitwa. I've never seen them roosting here at Djuma myself. They love it in sort of thatched rooms. The lodges have got thatched rooms. Normally they find their way in there, or if you've got a nice outdoor area with sort of a big undercover area the outside, they'll roost up in there. Otherwise in trees, in thick things, but I haven't actually found any. Some of them are so small, they might. Oh, there's a nightjar. Look, animal. No, please, why are they flying away? We were counting on this thing. Oh well, there was a nightjar. VM is also now in infrared, as you can see. Oh, let's stop and check these trees properly. No, just little holes from all the caterpillars that have been feasting upon them. Made some picture break. I'll go through it as quick as I can. Hold on, VM. I'm going to go quickly. Oh. Oh no. Okay, it seems as though that didn't work. The gremlins held on for longer. Off you go to Tristan, who has managed to start his car.
Now, I believe Taylor's having a few issues with a few gremlins, which we've also just dealt with in mass at the moment. So Rusty just wouldn't start at all. So we've lost Thandi completely. We weren't able to try and follow her because the battery died. And so we're in a situation now where we're just trying to get ourselves out of this block, and it is proving to be quite difficult. And I don't know if it was the battery, actually. It's not the battery situation. The car just wouldn't start at all. So it's not that, it's something electrical, but we'll try and figure it out. Maybe one of the relays is a bit dirty or something like that. So we'll get it right eventually, but we're just trying to make our way out. We're not too far from Central Road. Central should be straight in front of me where I am, just in front here somewhere. And so we're just slowly puttering that way. Also, Thandi was kind of heading in this direction, so maybe we'll bump into her as we go along, but we lost her quite quickly after you last had us. She went round the back of the car, and that was the end of it. We didn't see her again after that, so I don't know where she ran off to and where she actually is now, but we're trying to get out of here, but the grass is so long. You have to kind of go extremely slow, particularly now in the night, because I can't see very well. I can't see stumps and those kind of things, so I'm trying not to kill Craig and I, and just trying to go very slowly. But I think there's some sanctity coming up. I recognize this particular marula from Central Road, so we shouldn't be too far now. We should be able to actually find Central pretty quickly. You can see where the Ellies have been feeding during the marula season. There's no grass here. It's all open and clear. Thank you, Ellies, for that. Makes life a lot easier, and you can actually see how the paths run to marula, to marula, to marula as they went, which is pretty cool. So we're still just kind of scanning around for her as we go, just in case. But hopefully we can get ourselves out of here. Now, I can't turn the car off, unfortunately, so even if we did find her, I would need to leave the car running because we've got it up and running, and I want to just try and get us home before we turn off. And so while we try and get out, let's send you back across to Taylor, who seems to have got her signal issues sorted out.
Tristan, I hope you guys make it home safely, and don't stall. What's that? Nightjar. Oh. I'm going to leave a little bit of light on. Oh, come back, please. Please, Nightjar. This is my luck today. Not one bird wants to stay put. How rude. Anyways, it's fine. I'll remember that. Nightjars didn't want to help us out. Throw us a bone. Right, there's some little mud wallows here. Maybe there'll be something having a drink. Is there? No. Not anything. Oh, I see some. Let me drive to the edge of the. Oh, I don't want to fall in the mud wallow. I think we might see some spiders. Now, let's see if I can find those glowing eyes again. Yeah, in the center, there's something glowing. If you keep going, and you might be able to see it. There's like a bit of splash of water in your center frame, and there's something that's there. I don't know what that is, but it's reflecting. It might be a little stone, that white thing. Okay, well, that doesn't help us. That was not great. Let me quickly do a quick shine. You can see that eye shine there, yeah? I don't know what that is, but up to the left of that is there's a spider. Can you see it? There it is. Ha. Can you all spot the spider? There's a stick on the right-hand side, and then you can see it. It's a little one. It's probably a little wolf spider of sorts. There's normally lots of them running around at night. It'll be quite cool. Maybe you need to take its opportunity to try and catch some insects that'll come down to the water's edge, so that's quite nice to see. Let me try down here. No. No one else, sadly. No one. Okay. I can hear some scops owls and things in the distance. That's nice. Being blinded. Right. Chameleon time. Yeah. Oh, there's a nightjar then. Now the chameleon that I'm looking for, Rainbow D, is a flap neck chameleon. It's the only species that we get in this area. However, there are quite a few other species of chameleons in South Africa. When you go along the west coast, you start to see some interesting ones. Oh, it's still there. I didn't even see it. It flew and it must have laid back down again. Can't catch a nightjar. That's for sure. Also, I just would like to bring up something. Yesterday afternoon, it's still in my brain. I can't get it out of my head. I just keep thinking about it. That heron that was pretending to be the duck was just amazing. Obviously, it wasn't pretending to be a duck, but I've never seen them like paddle out like that before. And I think that that's such a clever fishing technique, especially when you don't see a lot of cormorants or oh my goodness, I've dropped everything. Cameras falling, all sorts of things. So especially when you don't see a lot of cormorants and African darters, you know, that will swim down and then sort of sit on the surface of the water. I've never seen either of those two bird species actually at Buffelshoek Dam, just a couple of days. So I think that it was successfully catching fish too, actually more so than when you see them wading on the outskirts. So that was something cool. And I believe Steve saw it for the first time too, just the other day. That's nice, hey? When you can be guiding for such a long time and still see new things, which is amazing. Oh, it's so fascinating to work out here. Now, I promise I'm going to find you a chameleon. I'm going to try my best, but in order for me to search properly, I have to make sure that I keep my eyes where my spotlight is pointing. I apologize if I don't flutter my eyelashes as much as I normally do to all of you, but I'm sure you all understand. This is how we want to find things, and also don't want to drive over a nightjar. It's the perfect evening for a chameleon. It's warm. I think we have nightjar, flying nightjar. I'm just catching. See, I'm not shining on the road down ahead to spot the nightjars. There isn't one. Look how. You know how annoying this is. It is the fruit, if you go down a little bit, Viam, there we go. It's the fruit from the large fruited bush willow, which drives me up the wall because it looks like a chameleon. It's the same color that one sort of reflects back at you. And I got so excited when I realized that. I was like, oh, there's 6 chameleons on this tree. I went, probably not one. Okay, well, while we desperately try and find you an actual chameleon, let's see if Tristan has found himself a road.
Not yet, Taylor. We're still trying to get there. It is almost impossible with the amount of fallen over trees. All we're doing is just going side to side, trying to find a way through and kind of punch our way down towards Central. We're not far from Central. It's just that we're battling to actually find a way to get to it. And so we're just kind of meandering through here. Who knows what we'll bump into? Maybe we bump into something fun on the way. You never know with these things. Although it's not like you can see anything because this grass is so long that it's very difficult to see much. But what is nice is that there is lightning in the distance. So there we go. Here's Central right here. Finally. Craig? Is that better now? Poor Craig. No, don't worry, Taylor. No need to bring us dinner. We're not going to still be stuck. But let's not turn off the car. But you can see on the horizon at the moment is that there is a massive storm that's brewing. And there's some lightning that is coming in that direction. It's lightning to our south. And so I think we might get a big storm this afternoon, or this evening, should I say, which will be definitely, I think, welcome in terms of rain. It's going to make everything a lot thicker and harder to find, but it's going to still be good for the area and what we need. Phew, that was quite an effort to get through this block. It's a long way inside there, but at least we managed to kind of do it. Now, theoretically, Thandi should pop out somewhere here. I would pay attention to the dam camp tonight. Wouldn't be surprised she makes an appearance there once again. She's kind of heading in that direction, so I would imagine she's going to pop out. You never know, maybe she's on the road in front of us and we'll pick her up at some point. But it's at least been an epic afternoon with her. We had a really nice long sighting, which is good. Now I've also got something that's caught on the bottom of the car, so let's just get rid of that quickly. No, it's not coming out. No. So we're still going to have a bit of a rattle. I don't even know if it's something that's caught on the car or if it's a little piece of metal that might be loose, given what we went through this afternoon. Maybe that's what it is. There's a little protector for the discs of the brake that sometimes rattles a bit loose, so we'll just have to check that when we get back. But for now, we'll just try and keep meandering back home. So, Joy, the carcass cam is now down permanently, I'm afraid. So the batteries on the carcass cam died, and because the carcass is pretty much done, there's really not much left there anymore, we decided that we would take it down, unfortunately. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you had fun. So you have a problem, so you're going to have to get out the way. But unfortunately, like I say, I mean, it had to come to an end at some point, and so with the batteries dying, we decided to remove everything and just get it all looking back to normal again. So Conrad and Nikki did all of that during the course of today and have taken it down for the time being. Hopefully we'll get another sort of something that we can use it for. We've been plotting all kinds of ideas as to try and kind of what we can use the sort of Nest cam for. And you never know, maybe we get something else that happens out here, maybe another carcass, or maybe even something like a nest or something like that we can put it on at some point. So that's kind of going to be projects in the future, but for now it is down. Right, well, we're heading slowly home. We're going to try and get back to camp without stopping, and while we do that, let's send you back across to Taylor and see if she's managed to find one of those chameleons yet.
No. Liam, what's that? Can you see that shiny thing in there? And get up a little bit. What are we even looking at? No, I don't know where we're looking. No, I think it might be a little bit actually too high. Okay, I think it might be a moth, but it's going to be hard for VM to see. I think he's just too tall, and the camera, it's all sort of angled at the wrong area. I saw a chameleon here with Craig the other night, and they do tend to stick to the same tree, not necessarily the same branch. So I'm just hoping that it is going to be around. It was on the right-hand side of the road, somewhere here. Oh, let me check nicely for you. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life, Rebecca. I can't even repeat it. You get a ponytail shake. Let's. I don't know what's going on in Final Control. People lost their minds today. All of them. Right. Come on, chameleon. There's bush wallows here, and they've been loving the bush wallows lately. See, they're full of leaves at the moment, so it makes it quite easy for them to hide in the bush wallows, which is, of course, what they want. Oh. I know I'm going to be able to find it. I know what's going to happen is that the show is going to end, and then I'm going to find one. They always do this to me. All the time. Oh no, I think we may have missed our chameleon tree. Although there was only one on the tree. It's not like there was a whole lot of them. Let's not drive into the marula. Okay, what we're going to do now then is we'll stop looking for chameleons and we're going to go and look for bush babies instead. So we'll go down this way. Chameleon predators you're asking about, hey Mina? I know snakes like to eat them. Snakes love to eat a chameleon. Southern ground hornbills, oh my goodness, when they can find them, they'll snap them right up. I think there'll be a lot of other bird species that will feed on them. So any birds that are feeding on reptiles will happily eat a chameleon. A hornbill, even a yellow-billed hornbill, will eat a chameleon if it can find one. And that's why chameleons are particularly vulnerable when they're out in the open, because then they're spotted by a number of different things and will be gobbled on up. But boomslangs, which we've seen twice, we've seen adult and we've also seen a juvenile, love to eat, and a specialist. So I suppose a vine snake that also is quite arboreal, and so same thing goes for a green mamba, will probably specialize in catching things like chameleons. So lots of different predators, which is why they need to hide away. Oh, there's a spinnacorp, a spider. What do we have? And a bark spider. Don't run away, it's trying to make an escape. What light works best for him? No light. No light. Hello, little spider. Working very hard, playing the guitar on its strings. Doing, 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 doing. Just joking. It's probably not doing that. It does. It does look like a little bark spider. Now, bark spiders love building webs. They're very good at building their webs, and they put them up at night time, and then they bring them down again at night. I mean, in the morning, which is quite cool. Either that or they end up on a guide's face. That's normally the case, getting wrapped around as they go driving about. And this one's very, very busy, and hoping that some little midges and things will get stuck in its web. And I don't see too many around tonight, actually. Normally they're very, very busy, those midges. It almost looks like it's climbing on nothing. It's a magic trick. How quickly it goes. Climbing all the way up. It's quite a big web too. And I suppose the bigger your web, the better chance you have of catching something. However, this actually looks like it's building it. Still adding some more layers to it. And the bigger your web, the more maintenance you've got to do, like what the spider is doing at the moment. Going round and round and round. Oh, let's go to Tristan.
Now we've got a honey badger, guys, so we're trying to keep up with it. It's busy running away from us at the moment, so it's just in the grass. I don't know if you can see it there. I'm going to turn off to see if it'll stop. So there, Craig, in the grass. I don't know if you can pick it up. Just moving away from us. There goes the honey badger. You see it? It's got its little head poking up. Now I've turned the car off, so if we can't start, I do apologize, but it's worth it for a honey badger. So I'm trying to see where it's gone. Let's try and just go forward. Now Taylor, I see, is not far, so Taylor, if she can rush forward a little bit to where I am, maybe she'll get it crossing the road and getting it kind of running in front of her, which is going to be interesting. But it was just here in front of me. Where did it go? The impalas were alarm calling. That's how we actually heard it, is because the impala's alarm call, and we're in this area. Now it should have run towards where Taylor was. Where did you go, little honey badger? Did you go down into a mound or something? Because I can't find it now. But we got a brief view, hopefully. Maybe Taylor's got it there in front. No. Taylor. Quick link to Taylor.
Okay, we've got it. We saw the honey badger. It's running in the grass. I just got to figure out where. There it goes. Is it? No, it's gone into the long grass, which makes it impossible for us to see any. It was on the road. It was running straight down the road, like Tristan said. Oh, that's a pity. I saw it, though. VM, you saw it. Oh, very cool, though. What a pity. Oh, it was quite nice. I have not seen a honey badger in a very, very long time. Very cool. Ah, next time. We'll come and look in the morning. I'm sure we'll see its tracks. But unfortunately, a very, very shy creature of the night. Oh, man. That would have been so amazing to see. Anyways, next time. Right. I'm going to send you to Tristan, who's just behind me, to, well, see how excited he is to see a honey badger.
Well, wasn't that epic? What a way to finish. A honey badger. I know it wasn't a good view, but it was a view of a honey badger nonetheless, so we can add that to animals that we've seen recently, which is very cool. So happy to have seen a honey badger. Like I say, the impalas were alarm calling, and we couldn't see anything, and all of a sudden this little badger trotted across the road, which is very cool. So Sammy Jane, no dive tonight. The Dive Live team are taking a bit of a break as they start to try and kind of get things sorted and fine-tune and tinker a little bit. But remember that you can still be a part of the whole situation, and you can become a Wild Earth ambassador for Dive Live if you join the divelive.wildearth.tv.kickstarter campaign. And so go and have a little look there. All the details are there as to what you need to do, and like I say, you can be involved with the journey as we get Dive Live off the ground. Super exciting. I was up watching the dive last night. Very, very cool. I think last night's dive, the last one, was probably the best dive of the four. Lots of interesting things, and they even had a hawksbill turtle, which is amazing. So it was super cool to see, and hopefully there'll be lots more coming our way. Good. Anyway, it's time for us to head home. We're going to try and get Rusty sorted out. Seems as though it's behaving itself now again. Must have been just a relay issue. But it's been an epic afternoon. Glad to have seen Thandi and that she's well and that there's now hope that maybe Shadow is also about, which is very, very cool. So, and a honey badger to finish. So what more could we have asked for? So from Taylor, Steve, myself, all the cam-ops, and Rebecca in the final control, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning on the Sunrise Safari.